Let's take a look at the analysis of uniform acceleration, and we're going to be using Microsoft Excel. When you release an object near the surface of the Earth, it falls. In the absence of air resistance, the object, regardless of mass, will fall downward with an acceleration of 9.8 meters per second squared. In this assignment, you must carry out an investigation into the non-uniform motion experienced by a falling object. You will review methods using the simulation motion of a falling object, and then use the following data to plot graphs and answer the following analysis questions. Your observations: the data table with headings, time in seconds, and position or distance fallen in meters. And you can see here the time is 0.0, 0.1, so it goes in increments of 0.1 seconds, down from 0 to 1.0 seconds. And the distance, you can see, goes from 0.0 down to 4.9. Let's take a look at that in Excel. Now we should really put a nice little title here. Analysis of uniform acceleration. And then you want to start making your table. You simply click in the cell, and notice something. When you start going underneath time, you put 0.0, 0.1, and you could keep clicking down 0.2, 0.3. There's a neat way in Excel. If you highlight, this is by left clicking, select two cells, and then grab this little black spot at the left bottom right edge. If you grab it and drag down, notice it will actually do a lot of this work for you. So it's really nice down to 1.0, and it fills it in. You also, in this case, you have to put in the distance in meters, and then start typing in the data that's given. And finishing off with a 4.9 at the bottom. Now there's a couple things you can do to make this look pretty. Notice our distance here overlaps in the next cell. You can grab up the top, extend it out so we do have the full title at the top in meters. You can also select all of your cells with the left click, grab and hold down to the bottom right. Then you right click and say Format Cells. And it's really nice if you put a border around this. You select border, you want an outside border and even the inside. And then when you hit OK, notice that you'll now have some black lines around there when it prints out to make it nicer. Now that's all just making it look nice, but what you really want to get into is graphing. And how you graph this data and have Excel do the work for you is you select again, left click on the top cell, drag down to your bottom right, and now we have all of that information. Go up to the top where it says Insert, and you want a scatter plot and a specific type. We're actually going to even have it connect the dots into a smooth curve. Notice what it says. Let's see if we can bring that up again. Scatter with smooth lines and markers. So it actually does this work for you. It puts, and you want to double check that it's this bottom axis is your time in seconds, going from 0 up to 1, 0 up to 1, and there's our data point right up here. And at 1 second, it is 5, or about 4.9 meters. Now notice a good graph should have axes labels here as well. We can get rid of this, we really don't need it in this case. You can select it, hit delete on your keyboard. Now we really do have to have good analysis using titles. So up at the top, go into, what is it, layout, over at this far right hand side. And notice you should have a chart title. And we want above the chart is really nice. And again for ours it is Analysis of Uniform Acceleration. And then you want axis titles as well. Now we want the horizontal, that's along the bottom. I like to see it title below the axis like this. And remember that is our time. So you click in it, and you want time in seconds. And on this axis, Here you do again do axis titles, and you now want a vertical. In this case, you want the rotated title. Rotated title, display rotated axis title, and resize chart. So you put it in here, and we want that one to be, if you double click, I think, oh, maybe triple click. Yeah, there we go. Distance in meters. So you can see again here time. I'm going to scale this nice and big. It's always nice to have big graphs. And on this axis down here, we can put in our grid lines. So we want horizontal, that's back and forth. It's even nice to have even the minor ones. And same with here, grid lines. It's nice to have vertical, big ones, and even minors. It really makes it look like a nice graph. Now you can, at this point, take a look at your printout for this. We've now done the first part, where you're analyzing this motion, construct a position time graph using your data, draw a smooth curve of best fit, and it's done this for us with Excel. A nice curve between your lines, sorry, curved line between your points. A good graph has a clear title, clearly labeled axes, with quantity being measured and unit of measurement. Check, we've done number 1. Number 2, according to your position time graph, what type of motion did the object undergo? So what do you think in this case? Take a look, the further you go in time, the distance is actually increasing. You've covered a greater and greater distance over time. So I'll let you decide what type of motion that is. And the next one I do, use your position time graph and determine the instantaneous velocity. I'll do that in the next lesson.